Hi guys, welcome back to Automobile Infos. Today I have with me the XEV9S. This is a 7-seater EV from Mahindra. It broke the market the day it was launched. So much space, so many features. I own the BE6, so how is it different from that? In this video, we are going to see exactly that. Is it better than the BE6? Is it worth the extra money that it costs? What it offers and what it doesn't? Without any delay, let's jump right in. From the front, it looks absolutely stunning. It gets a bigger frunk than the BE6, so you can practically store some luggage here, which you cannot in the BE6. The BE6 gets a very small frunk, and the space in the front is hardly usable. You can only keep a small backpack, but here you can actually keep a small cabin size bag if you can adjust it. Otherwise, multiple cloth bags can be fit easily. You get connected DRL in the front. You get, this is the low beam and this is the high beam, or the auto booster headlamps. You get the front camera for 360 parking camera. You get the front radar for ADAS. This is the pack 3. This is the top model of the XEV9S, and the rest of the things are pretty standard. You get 90-degree opening doors like you do in the B6. Harman Kardon sound system, same as the B6. You get a triple screen layout, which is unlike the B6, but the facelift that is about to be launched on the 15th of August might have a similar cabin to this. Because the center divider from the B6 will be removed, the triple screens might actually look exactly like this. The moment you step inside, you actually feel a lot more space. Because of the center line gone, you actually feel that the cabin is wide. You feel like you have a lot more space. On top of that, the light colored interior theme makes the cabin feel a lot more airy, a lot less congested. So if you're somebody who likes to sit in a cabin that feels really big, this is the car you should go for. On top of that, you actually get bigger window size. Unlike the B6 has very small windows, especially at the rear. So that is where it can feel a little claustrophobic. You get a panoramic sunroof, which you do not in the B6. The B6 has a moonroof, but this actually gets an opening sunroof. So you do not get ambient lights on the roof because this is a sunroof, so they could not adjust lights there. The rear seats are way more spacious. The cabin feels wider as well. Flat floor helps it. You also get sliding rear seats, so that is very beneficial, especially on long journeys. The seats in itself, they feel a little wider. They feel a lot more comfortable. The under thigh support is comparatively more. The seats are more puffy, unlike the B6. And these are all leatherite seats, where the B6 gets half fabric and half leatherite. This is just pure leatherite. The steering shape is different from the B6. It is like the 9e, a more conventional steering, more conventional design inside. So if you want something that is not as radical as the B6, if you want a family car, then this is the one to go for. Things around here remain pretty standard. You get touch controls here, which I'm not a huge fan of. I would have actually preferred physical buttons here. You get this thing that you can open. Inside you get a fast charger and a type C connector. You get two wireless charging pads here. This is the gear lever, the electronic parking brake, the joystick from which you can control the screen. Now interestingly, this XEV9S is also running on 3.912. So if I go to my vehicle, no custom mode here as well. This is the test drive vehicle, so they probably did not update the software and are just letting it run like this. You get the start stop button here. This is also a physical button, unlike the B6 that has a haptic button on the center console. Those controls remain the same. You get memory seat settings there instead of on the side of the seat. Again, very clean looking. This is actually like the XUV 700 or the 7XO. Since a lot of part sharing is happening in these two cars, you can see that this is also like the 700. The B6 has actually a cool layout. You get a sunglass holder, which the B6 misses out on. Let's head to the back and see how the seat experience is. At the rear, you get sliding seats. As you can see, that is slid all the way forward, and this is about all the way back. So this is all the way behind and that is all the way forward. Now if I get in here, the difference in under thigh support, as you can see, it is very evident. Even in the space, it is a lot more spacious. You see the knee room. You see that 3 people will be able to sit comfortably. Flat floor. Rear AC is actually adjustable like this as well as like this, which is not the case in the BS6. You get what feels like a bigger center armrest. There's more space. If you put it back, you get your third seat with the adjustable headrest. The B6 also gets this adjustable headrest if you didn't know about this. You get wireless chargers at the rear as well, along with 65-watt fast charging in the rear seats. You get sun blinds, also something missing in the B6. Now let's head to the third row. I noticed is that the rear doors are not 90-degree opening. They just open this much, whereas the front doors open a lot wider. Now to get into the third row, what you need to do is, it's a one touch, so you can tumble the seat comfortably. I'll probably have to move this seat ahead. And that brings me to the next thing. The co-driver seat is also electronically adjustable. So it's pretty easy. To get into the third row, you just tumble this seat ahead and then you can get inside. Put these back up. With the third row down, you actually get considerable amount of boot space. But with the third row up, you would not be able to get that much space. Now when you put this seat back up, you realize that there is absolutely no space in the third row. You can see that my knees are touching. The under thigh support is non-existent because the motor is situated under here. Because this is rear wheel drive, the floor is actually really high, and that actually leads to no space, absolutely no space. However, you do get AC vents here. You get a cup holder, you get the fan controls there, you get a 12-volt charging socket. This seat is down just to show you the boot space. You can see that the boot space is quite a lot with the third row down. This is the charging port of the car, same as the BE6, and you struggle the same. Get a rear wiper, which is a major miss in the BE6, as I said in my previous video. You miss out on an electronic boot. This is actually a manual boot. Now if I tumble this seat as well, you'll actually see that it has a lot more space, a lot more boot space, because this height is more. The B6 gets a coupe design, so you miss out on boot space. You can also tumble this seat forward. I'll have to move that seat ahead, but this actually gives you a flat bed, and then the storage space becomes so much that you can store whatever you want in here. These rear lights look really pretty. They're somewhat like the 7XO that's going on. You get this honeycomb design here, super cool. You get 18-inch alloys. The tire profile is written right here, 235/60 R18. These look pretty cool. Goodyear tires in this one, not the best choice. 360 camera, of course. Same ADAS features as the BE6. Now let's drive it and we'll cover how it feels. So instantly you feel that the steering is slightly bigger than the BE6 because of the shape. That gets a flat bottom and a flat top. This is just flat on the bottom. A more conventional steering when you compare it to the BE6. The suspension feels slightly softer, although it is not as refined as I would expect it to be. Again, this is running on version 3.912, and I expect the suspension to get better in 6.212 with the custom drive modes. Turning radius is obviously bigger than the B6 because this is a bigger car. Rear camera is similar, 360 camera is the same. You're actually sitting way higher up, so you can clearly see the bonnet, which is not the case with the B6. This, I feel, is a more easier car to drive if you leave out that it is longer. You actually see the bonnet, you know how big your car is. The B6 takes some getting used to because the space ahead of you is very big and you cannot see the bonnet. So you need to drive the car to get used to its dimensions. This is the exact view that I get while driving the 700. So this is exactly same, the distance in front of me. So I'm just used to this and it is way easier to drive. There are very small potholes or undulations in the road, and you could feel these in the BE6, I'm pretty sure. But here the car is absorbing them really well. Probably because this gets slightly softer suspension, or because these are 18-inch wheels, whereas in the Batman edition there are bigger wheels, and so the profile becomes smaller and they're a little worse at absorbing bumps. Again, power wise, there is a lot of power, but the BE6 pushes you back into your seat, which is not the case here because this is a heavier car, 7 seats, longer, overall bigger in size. So the push that you feel in the seats is less, but it actually picks up speed really well. And I feel that the suspension is tuned more for comfort and less for sportiness. So you don't actually feel the speed as much, but it actually rises pretty rapidly. Visibility in this is actually better because the rear windshield is like a conventional car. It is bigger, you can actually see stuff out of it. In a coupe design, what happens is that you rarely see anything from this. You have to rely on the side mirrors a lot more. Apart from that, the driving feel is pretty much the same. This has a slightly higher center of gravity, so you won't be able to take this that hard on sharp turns. This will move around a little bit more, especially on turns. But overall on city roads, this is more stable than the B6. This is more comfortable. You feel like you're sitting in a family car that is absorbing bumps, but the B6 feels more like a sports car and it has absolutely nothing to do with bumps. Apart from that, the regen feels pretty much the same. The acceleration is not as brisk, but it is nowhere close to slow. The braking performance feels the same. The steering feels slightly softer than the B6, probably again due to the suspension or the tuning of the steering wheel. This feels more like the 700. So all in all, if you're looking for a family car or for a car that is comfortable and has a lot of space and you want an EV, then I don't think that there is any other option than the XEV9S, because there aren't many cars in this budget that have 7 seats. There aren't many cars that are as comfortable, as big as this. This would also give you a range similar to the B6 and the 9e, about 400 to 500 depending on the weather, how you drive, how many passengers are there, how many weight is inside the car. The features remain largely the same. You get boost mode, race mode, everything is same. A lot of part sharing, the motor is same, the battery is same. So similar power figures, no huge difference there. I do expect the car to get better as the software updates come along. Especially custom mode fixes suspension, and that is one of the major reasons. Although suspension in this is already a lot better than it is in the BE6. All in all, this is a way more comfortable car, way more family oriented, very less sporty. So if you want something that feels fun to drive, then I still feel that the BE6 is the one you should go for. If you want something for the family, if you've a big family and you go on long trips very often, then this is the one you should go for, eyes closed. If you're looking for something that's a 5-seater, then even the 9e is a very good option. It also gets a lot of boot space, a lot of space in the interior. The advantage of this is the 7 seats and the more conventional design. If you fold the rear seats, then you get a lot more boot space. Again, no coupe design means more height to work with, and a more conventional design, easier to drive, more visibility, more comfort, and everything more optimized for family usage. That's it for this video. If it helped, please give it a like. Subscribe to Automobile Infos for more such content. I'll see you in the next one. Drive safe and have a happy journey.